Hey Yvette, long time no see. I heard you got married, sis. Could it really be? Why didn't you tell me? That's like so not cool.
Oh, hi. It's been a while, Tamsin. Why are you messaging me out of the blue all of a sudden?
Didn't I just say? You got married, right? Why didn't you tell me anything?
I did tell Mom and Dad, but they just told me, to quote them, to do whatever the hell I please. I can't say I was too interested in carrying on the conversation. I mean, come on, sis. We haven't seen each other or spoken in years. Why would I go out of my way to tell you about my wedding?
How could you be so cold? I'm your little sister. In spite of that, I haven't heard a peep out of you in years. And if that's not bad enough, you kept your damn wedding of all things a secret from me? You're just making me sad here, sis.
You feel sad? You've got some nerve. Did you forget about everything you did to me?
Huh? What are you talking about? Did I do something to you?
Are you seriously telling me you don't remember? You've been stealing all of my things since we were barely out of our pushchairs. It only started out as toys, and I mean, fine, whatever. Kids will be kids. I wouldn't have a problem if it stopped there, but when we grew up, you escalated to stealing my favorite clothes and bags. Then, in middle and high school, you moved on to stealing my boyfriends. Even after that, you kept stealing my stuff. Nothing was safe. You took everything I worked so hard to buy myself with the money from my part-time job at the cafe. When I tried telling you to stop, you'd run off to Mom and tell her I was bullying you so she'd take your side.
Gee, sis, you still harping on about all that crap? Let bygones be bygones already. Sheesh! You're so petty. Anyway, I didn't do anything wrong, no matter how much you cry and complain. All I did was say I wanted your stuff. It was thanks to me constantly pestering Mom and Dad you got given so much stuff in the first place. So what if I have them? Something for me every now and then?
What? You can't be serious. You don't see the problem with crying and screaming and kicking up a fuss until Mom and Dad got so tired of you they gave you my things to placate you? Not only that, but you're the one who made moves on my boyfriends. You went out of your way to steal them from me.
Nuh-uh. I so did not. I know you're still bitter, but accept it, girl. They chose me over you, and that's all there is to it. If you actually think about it, you'll see it wasn't my fault. LOL, but if there's one thing I might be guilty of, it's being more beautiful than you.
Drop the act already. You were the one who went on the attack. You did it all on purpose. You know what hurt the most? Every time you succeeded in stealing something from me, you lost interest all of a sudden and threw it away. You went out of your way to throw my things in the trash when I was looking, to break up with my boyfriends right before my eyes. You'd condescendingly preach to me how you were entitled to throw away your things if you wanted to, but it was clear all you wanted to do was hurt me. You ridiculed and humiliated me at every opportunity. You made me feel like crawling into a hole and dying. I'll never forget what you did. Don't get me wrong, I'm fully aware Mom and Dad put you up to it half the time.
Wow, sis. You're an even bigger self-pitying loser than I thought. How can you have such a warped, twisted view of the world? Have you considered therapy? You're scary. You'll get even uglier at this rate if you're not careful. Have you considered thinking positively for a change? Negativity ages you, you know? Surely you have enough wrinkles already.
The point here is that I want absolutely nothing to do with you or the rest of my family ever again. I made that pretty clear to Mom and Dad when I told them I was getting married. To my astonishment, Mom was actually adult enough to respect that, and she agreed never to make contact again. You didn't seem to get the message, though. I know she told you.
Ugh, don't be so mean-spirited. You're my only sister in the world. I want to see your new husband. What's he like? I really wanted to go to the wedding, but thanks to you sulking, I had no idea where it was gonna be held.
That's funny. You say you wanted to go to my wedding, but I know you had no intention of celebrating or being happy for me.
I so did. Stop with this already. Your words, they cut me like a knife. Can you imagine though? If I actually did go to the wedding, I would have stolen the show. Everyone would have been talking about me. I just know it. I guess it probably would have sucked for you to be upstaged by your beautiful little sis on your wedding day.
I was right not to invite you. Even just the thought of it makes me feel ill on a visceral level. Honestly, you're the last person on Earth I wanted to see there.
Whoa! Are you jealous? I can't pretend I don't get it though. If I was there, you would have been practically invisible on the most important day of your life. It was a good tactical move, I'll give you that. I'm not mad at you for not inviting me. Even a crusty loser like you should get to be in the spotlight at least once in her miserable life, right? And I so generously and benevolently didn't even try and track down the venue.
Whatever. You can think and say what you like. I want nothing more to do with you. Are you done now?
You really are cold. Let's face it. Any guy someone like you manages to bag isn't going to be anything special. He's the husband of a disappointing wrinkled hag in her 30s after all. Is he bald, fat, or some miserably old man who spends most of his life in an office cubicle getting shouted at by successful people? Maybe he's all three?
Yep, you hit the nail on the head, so you may as well just leave it alone.
I knew it. Enjoy your magic miserable lives together.
Tamsin! Stay away from my husband!
Huh? What's this about?
Don't play dumb with me. You've been sending messages to my husband on Peep Book.
Huh? So what? What's bad about that? Human beings talk to each other all the times. You know, it's a perfectly normal thing to do. Imagine getting upset over that. Cringe. You baffle me.
Which part is normal? I'm the one who's baffled. Your behavior makes no sense.
Use your head, pea-brain. Your husband equals my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law equals my family. It's perfectly normal for me to talk to my family on social media.
Surely that only applies to family you actually have anything to do with. Besides, even if it was normal, it's certainly not normal to send your brother-in-law pics of you in your underwear. If you think otherwise, I suggest you go get your head checked out.
Wait a second. You crap me up, you vet. Those aren't my panties. It's a bikini.
Panties or bikini, the surface area is the same. Hey, you big hunky stallion, do you think I look cute in these? Seriously, I want to vomit. No one in their right mind would send anything like that to their sister's husband.
You're overthinking this like you do everything else, and you have the gall to call me a head case? I didn't mean anything by it. It was just a bit of lighthearted fun. Take a chill pill. Ah, I get it. You're losing your mind because you think I'm gonna steal your husband, aren't you? I mean, I guess it makes sense. Let's face it, you're never gonna come out on top in a contest between me or you.
Do you never get bored of this? Just give it a break already. Your very existence disgusts me more than words can describe.
Whoa, scary. Who says stuff like that? Does your husband have any idea what a deranged psycho you are? You're a real nasty piece of work. You should be locked up. I feel kinda bad for him. Did he know what he was getting himself into? I fear for your married life together. Should I send in a rescue team? LOL.
He knows me better than any of my actual family do. So, thanks, but we don't need your concern. That's why we got married.
But you know you and him aren't a good match, don't you? You'll never last. I know, sis. How he's tall, dark, and handsome. How he's on 6 figures in a management role at a major company. My friend told me, and I told Mom. Wanna know what she said? That a young beauty like me is far more suitable for a high-spec guy like him. I agree, he's wasted on you.
Maybe it does look like we're a mismatch from the outside, and you know what? Think what you want. I don't care. We got married because we love each other. You can try and tempt him all you like, but you're wasting your time.
Is that a challenge? You do remember how every single boyfriend you've ever had broke up with you for me, right? You should be more careful about what you say. I hate to break this to you, honey, but your husband replied saying he wants to meet me. Surprise, surprise! He chose the young beauty over the dried-up hag.
Is that so? I'm happy for you to think that.
Yep, that is so. Looks like you have some preparations to make.
Preparations? For the divorce?
I've decided I'm gonna go through with it. Me and him are going to get married. After all, me taking away everything you hold dear has become somewhat of a family tradition. It'd be a shame if not to keep it alive. Seems like your husband's fully on board with that too. You wouldn't want to stand in the way of the man you love getting what his heart truly desires, would you?
I see. Do you really want him that badly?
Yep, I want. I'm so much better suited to him. He's gonna be the happiest man on earth with me on his arm.
I see. Fine. Leave it with me. I'll send everything over.
Huh? What the? I thought you'd be mad. Why are you going along with it so readily? Is it because you're putting your husband's happiness first?
Discussing anything with you would only be a waste of time. Instead, I'm gonna give in and send you everything I own.
Woohoo! That escalated quickly. I'm shocked, sis, I gotta admit. It's actually kinda disappointing. Although, guys like him only come around once in a blue moon. Handsome and a high earner. I shouldn't complain, really. I'm happy to leave you alone and let you live out the rest of your years in lonely misery after this. So make sure you deal with the divorce proceedings ASAP, okay? Hey! What the heck? What's going on? Explain!
What do you mean?
What do you mean, what do I mean? You know exactly what I mean, don't play dumb. I'm asking you what the heck you think you're playing at sending a load of garbage at my house?
But didn't you say you wanted all of my things? That's why I sent you all of my things.
What? What? Why would I want your trash? Have you lost your mind?
Come on, trash is taking it a bit far. It might not be brand new, but the TV is still watchable. And the furniture is still in pretty good condition. You have no idea how much of a help you've been. I had no idea what I was going to do with all the furniture and appliances from when I lived on my own when I moved in with my husband. I was actually thinking of taking it to the landfill. Laws around recycling have gotten real strict lately, and it seemed like more trouble than it was worth. I couldn't believe my luck when you said you wanted it all. Thanks so much, Tamsin. You're a lifesaver.
Are you messing with me?
No, not at all. You said you wanted all of my stuff. So, I sent you all of my stuff. That's all.
I said I wanted your husband, not this crap. I never said anything about sending me a pile of trash, not even once.
But you see, my husband isn't a thing, nor is he stuff. He's a human being. I have no right to give him away like some possession. Besides, it's all still usable, so it's not trash.
Ugh! Just let me meet him. I don't know why, but your husband's Peep book page disappeared since we last spoke and I can't message him anymore. I'm guessing you deleted it because you were panicking? If I can just meet him in person, he'll choose me. I just know it.
My husband's Peep book page? Oh, that. Now that you mention it, he did say some weird woman, obviously trying to look younger than she is, sent him some disturbing pictures. Apparently, he blocked her straight away. He said they made him feel uncomfortable.
What? Weird? Trying to look younger than I am? Disturbing? My pictures made him feel uncomfortable? What? Are you making fun of me?
I mean, is he wrong? You might be younger than me, but you are 30 now. You're well past the age you can go around using your youth as a weapon. You call me a wrinkly old hag, but I'm only 2 years older than you.
Ugh, shut up! I've got you beat in every category. I get told I look like I'm in my early 20s all the time.
Ugh, this again. I've been wondering this for a while now. But have you ever heard of the term flattery?
Oh my god, what? What's gotten into you? You've been looking down your nose at me this whole time, haven't you? I don't need to hear this from the likes of you.
You are, of course, free to think what you like about yourself. I think it's healthy to have a positive self-image, even if it is contradicted by reality. By the way, my husband did actually say he wants to meet you.
Oh, he did? Really?
Yes, really. He said your disturbing behavior made him so curious that he wants to know whether you're that weird in real life, too.
What?
He said he wants to see the culprit behind the decade-long harassment campaign against me with his own eyes. He seemed genuinely amazed that someone like you is able to delude yourself that you're young or beautiful.
No, it's you two who are weird. You're the ones who are messed up. Come to think of it, it makes perfect sense. You're a nutcase, so he'd have to have a screw loose to have anything to do with you in the first place. Birds of a feather. He's probably just trying to defend his wounded pride because he knows deep down he'd never have a chance with me.
That's right. We're a pair of nutcases in love. I have to correct you, though. You seem to have things the wrong way around. You're the one who doesn't have a chance with him. Understand now? How about you just acknowledge it instead of trying to defend your wounded pride? You can't always have things your way.
Shut up. When I find a guy to marry, he's gonna be the real deal, the genuine article. He's gonna be tall, handsome, rich, funny, witty, charismatic, popular, rich, and have great taste in women. The kind of guy who'd even turn you down in your dreams.
You were disqualified at great taste in women. I wonder if you can really pull it off, though.
If a cave troll like you can find a husband, there's no way I can't.
The problem is, your only redeeming quality is your rapidly deprecating appearance. Besides that, maybe your youth? Even that's doubtful, though. Your personality is so rotten you'd give the devil a run for his money, and you're an unemployed shut-in who's barely even capable of housework. What do you bring to the table?
I can do housework. What other skills do I need besides that? That's the most important thing for a woman. Have you seen the statistics on how much money beautiful women make in their lifetimes compared to ugly ducklings like you? I have, and I know one thing. The good life is waiting for me.
But surely that only applies to beautiful women who take the time to reflect on themselves, learn skills, and become better people by enriching the lives of those around them. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it probably doesn't apply to poisonous, naive layabouts who think they're really beautiful just because they're young, which they're not, who contribute nothing of value to anyone.
How could someone as ugly as you possibly understand?
No one escapes aging, and you're already 30. You can harp on about youth and beauty all you like, but there's no denying it. You're no spring chicken. You're past the point of being capable of begging a guy who's into young beauties. I hate to break this to you, but that ship left port, and it's never coming back.
Ugh, you're so annoying. Just shut up. You think you're so special because you got married? This is so went to your head.
I don't think I'm special at all. All I'm doing is telling the truth. Oh, yeah, by the way, I got a message from Mom. You were more reliable to us than that lazy good-for-nothing.
Huh?
She said you might have had a shot at marrying into wealth 5 years ago, but now you're just unwanted leftovers. She's completely useless. Despite being jobless, she barely even does housework.
No way, she didn't say that. Mom and Dad said I'm valuable to them simply by existing. Mom said I might still have a shot at marrying into money.
When was this? You see, the thing is, Mom and Dad are currently in the process of trying to cozy up to me because they say the thought of relying on you in their old age makes them anxious. To think they spent all these years spoiling you as their favorite. It's really quite ironic, isn't it? It made me laugh when they suddenly started trying to curry favor with me the moment they heard about my husband, despite the fact that they told me never to contact them again. You've had them wrapped around your finger for pretty much your entire life, and to be fair to them, they have looked after you. Make sure you see them through their old age in comfort, okay?
There's no way Mom and Dad would say those things about me. They'd never choose you over me. They always said I was their favorite, the beautiful daughter.
Fine, ask them yourself. Ask them who they'd rather looked after them in their old age. Will you believe it when you hear it straight from Mom and Dad themselves? Or are you too stubborn and thick-headed even for that?
The answer is obviously gonna be me. These are just lies and fantasies. Vicious lies and fantasies. It's always been obvious how mom and dad felt about you. You were a burden and a nuisance at best. Why would they do 180 all of a sudden now? They never loved you.
I'm glad they never loved me. The thought that I could have actually turned out like you, a self-obsessed narcissist who thinks the world revolves around them, makes me shudder. All I feel for you is pity. The only thing in this world you have to be proud of are your rapidly deprecating looks, and I pity you from the bottom of my heart.
I don't need your pity. The only one deserving of pity here is you, the withered old hag. Those parents never loved her.
There you go again. You talk about people as if their appearance is the only thing that matters. Love that expects some kind of reward isn't love at all.
Is this bold font all you've got? You really are pathetic. To think the woman who spent her entire life on the losing side, having everything she held dear stolen from her, would have the nerve to speak to me like that.
And yet you tried to steal this pathetic old hag's husband. What does that make you? Are my hand-me-downs the best you can do? How about you find someone with your own hard work, based on your own merit, who loves you for you? You know, like I did. The most important person in my life, who you're not capable of stealing. I found him with my own hard work and determination. There's not a single person on this planet who loves you for who you are because you're rotten to the core. You wasted your life playing malicious games to massage your overinflated ego. And where did it get you? You really are pathetic. Unable to cope with the thought of being rejected, apparently Tamsin went on the offensive against mom and dad, demanding they choose between me and her. Of course, mom and dad, who only judged books by their covers, chose me and my high-earning husband. That was the spark that started the fire, and before long, the entire street was woken up at 2 a.m. by the argument to end all arguments, which resulted in mom and dad booting her out. Unable to cope without a constant stream of praise and approval from others, Tamsin started working in the adult industry. But even that didn't last long. Competing for work with girls much prettier and younger than her, she was treated like used goods, found it impossible to stay afloat, and was forced to quit. Refusing to accept reality, she then applied for a series of high-class escort agencies. They all turned her down. How do I know this, you ask? She posted it all on her Peep book page. Last I heard, she was etching out a living with money from the wallets of her multiple lovers and sugar daddies. But when I say etching out, I really mean it. She begs mom and dad to take her back on practically a daily basis. It seems like she didn't learn anything from what I told her at the end. I have a feeling she'll live out the rest of her days in self-absorbed ignorance and nothing will change. As for my parents, who initially had no interest in my wedding, they had a mysterious change of heart the moment Tamsin told them he was a high earner in a managerial role at a major company. Apparently, they tried to get Tamsin to convince him to marry her instead at first. But when they realized he had no interest in her online advances, they switched tactics to cozying up to me in an attempt to mend our troubled relationship. I've been working at a prestigious insurance company since I graduated college, and I bring in a decent salary myself. It must have finally dawned on them that I was infinitely more valuable to them than the long-term, unemployed, and impossibly selfish Tamsin. Obviously, I have no interest in having anything to do with them for as long as I live, so I got a new phone number, and me and our husband moved into our new place together. Naturally, I didn't tell them my new address, nor do I intend to. With that, the messages from them finally stopped, and me and my husband are enjoying our newly married life together. I don't need any of them in my life. The parents who raised me and my sister constantly comparing us and playing favorites, or the sister who made it her life's mission to steal everything I hold dear. From here on out, it's just me and my husband, who chose me and only me and loves me for who I am. We're currently in the process of trying to create a big, happy family, if you catch my drift.
Hey Zara, when's the next time you think you can come by? I'd like you to bring over a couple of pairs of clothes for me. Oh, I'd also like a bath towel too. Could you do that for me?
But I just came by last week. I don't have so much free time to just keep going all the time. I've got a lot on at the moment. I have my personal life too, you know. Besides, it takes me over 30 minutes to get to the hospital you're at. I'm pretty exhausted from having to sort out the insurance and paperwork for the hospital too. Can you wait a little longer?
Look, I get that, and thanks for doing it. But I've just broken both my legs in a traffic accident. Can you make me a bit more of a priority at least while I'm in hospital?
I have been doing that. Everything you have in your room right now is stuff that I brought over. And why do I have to bring you more clothes? You can borrow patient robes from the hospital.
Well, I know I can, but it looks like I'll be here for a while, so at the very least, I thought it'd be better to at least wear some stuff that I'm used to and comfortable in.
I'm not going to pamper you like that. Don't ask me for things you can do yourself or get the hospital to sort it out for you. You're not usually one to do this, Steve. I thought you were the kind of person who does whatever they can on their own.
That might be true when I can move on my own, but at the moment, that's not really the case. Now is different.
Okay. I'll post it over then. What? Do you have a problem with that? You should be grateful that I'm sending you the things that you want.
Look, Zara, when I first got hospitalized after the accident, you didn't come visit me for quite a while. And even now, I have to ask you to come see me. It'd be nice if you showed that you cared at least a little.
I do care, but it's not like you're going to get better any faster by me coming by.
Well, yeah. That might not help my physical injuries, sure. I felt that you've been becoming colder and colder towards me. And since the accident, it seems like it's getting worse and worse. Before, I'm sure you would have done whatever you could to help me out. I want to know, why have you been acting like this? Did I do something to upset you? I've tried my best to let you be as free as possible and do what you want.
What's this? Now you're going to scold me? You're going to put me in a bad mood with that, so stop it.
But I'm being serious. You really have changed a lot recently.
It's been 3 years since we got married. Of course people will change in that amount of time. It's not always going to be like it was when we were dating.
I know that.
Also, I'm going on a trip next week. So try not to message me with annoying requests. I don't want you to ruin my holiday.
You're going on a trip? You didn't tell me anything about that.
I just told you, didn't I?
I mean, it's fine and all for you to go on a trip, but do you really have to go right now?
Oh, you're starting to really annoy me with this. Not like you're sick and dying, so what's the problem? And you can barely move, so it's not like you can come home with me either.
Can you at least tell me where and who you're going with? I'm your husband, so I have the right to at least know that much.
Are you kidding? Talking to you really is exhausting. Well, it's getting too annoying to hide it, so I'll tell you. I'm going with another man.
What?
You get it now, don't you? There's someone else I like apart from you. That's why I don't have any interest or attachment to you anymore.
You've got to be kidding me. This has got to be some kind of cruel joke. Are you telling me you've been having an affair?
Yep. So, will you leave me alone?
You want to get a divorce?
That's right. I'll send the divorce papers along with the other things you asked for. Make sure you sign them. I wasn't planning to tell you while you were in the hospital because I felt bad for you. Then you just kept on complaining, so I thought I may as well do it now.
It's my fault.
I'm expecting you to split everything equally in the divorce too. Don't let me down.
Steve, how are you?
Hey Mark, you know, same old, can't move from the bed. How was everything?
Not too bad on my end. How's your condition looking? Any changes?
Not really. But I'm just lucky to be alive, so I'm not complaining. I'm still unclear though whether I'll be able to walk again or not. Sorry about leaving all my work with you. And you're supposed to be moving back to your hometown next week.
That's fine. It's the least I can do to say thanks. You've done a lot to help me out in the last 2 years that we've been working together. Whenever I made a mistake, you always had my back. I'm glad I can do something to repay you before I go, although I would have liked to keep working together.
I mean, it can't be helped. Your dad is sick, so you should go back and see him. I totally understand.
Thanks, Steve. I'm still going to be around for a few more days, so let me know if there's anything I can do for you in that time. I can bring things over for you if you need them.
Thanks. You're more helpful than my wife.
Oh? Did something happen between you and your wife?
I just found out she's been having an affair.
You're kidding!
So we're getting a divorce now, too.
Oh, that's really terrible. I'm sorry to hear that, but how did you find out when she's been having an affair? I mean, you're in the hospital at the moment.
She told me herself that she's going on a trip with another man. Can you believe that?
What on earth? Who would admit it themselves?
That's what I thought too. Of course, finding out about the affair itself was a shock, but to have her tell me herself? She's also going to try to take half my assets in the divorce. That aside, I definitely want to find out who this other man is. I have been pretty down since being hospitalized, but now is not the time for that. I don't really like to be like this, but the news and my anger has kind of got me fired up. Oh, sorry for making you listen to me go on about this. I haven't quite fully processed it myself.
It's fine. I guess I'm also kind of lost for words.
Same here.
But is it good to think about that now? I mean, how do you plan on finding out who this other guy is while you're in the hospital?
Oh, I'll sort that out somehow.
Somehow?
Don't worry about that. I'm someone who can get things done when I put my mind to it. I've got enough savings right now to tide me over. Plus, I'll also get the compensation package from the accident. In any case, I'll end this my way.
I see. But make sure to look after your health first. Don't overdo it.
Thanks. I'm glad I've been lucky enough to work with someone like you. Zara! How long do you plan on ignoring me? I told you that I'll proceed with the divorce, so what's going on? Are you just gonna ignore me because you're on a holiday right now? I want to talk to you about the divorce settlement and splitting assets. So make sure to reach out once you see this. To the lawyer, I mean. I sent you the lawyer's number earlier. You're the one who proposed the divorce, so make sure you do your part. Sorry, I can't take calls in the hospital. It'll bother everyone else. What's up?
Steve, I have some bad news about your wife.
What? About Zara?
She passed away in an accident.
Huh? What, are you serious? What happened?
I know it's hard to believe, but the police just called the office. They said that there was an accident during her trip.
Come on, this isn't even funny as a joke. There's a time and a place for joking, Mark.
I wish it was a joke. Apparently, she was holidaying somewhere by the sea and, while walking on some rocks or cliffs, fell into the sea. They found her things nearby.
I don't believe this.
I'm sorry, but that's what they said.
Oh my god.
I understand that you want to think it's not the truth, but it is.
Hold on a sec. I can't think straight right now.
I understand. It was someone you loved, and you had your mind full of the divorce too. It must be tough.
No, that's not what I mean. I don't understand. Why would the police call the company? Normally they would have contacted me first.
That's true. I'm not sure why that is.
I didn't hear anything from her parents either. They surely would have contacted me already. Even if I'm in the hospital, the police should always contact the family first.
I really don't get it either.
Could it be that you're being tricked?
What do you mean?
Who did you talk to on the phone? Was it a man or a woman?
Actually, I wasn't the one who spoke to them. I heard it from somebody else at the office.
Wait, why were you at the office anyway? Last week was your last week, wasn't it?
I just had a few last things to do to take care of there, so I just dropped by to do that. I didn't really find out the details, but the fact that your wife passed away is the truth.
How can you be so sure?
I mean, that's what the police said after all.
The pieces don't really fit based on what you're saying, though. I get that she fell from some rocks into the sea, but they haven't found her body, right?
It doesn't seem so.
And they found her belongings nearby. But would the police really declare her dead from just that?
I don't really know how it works. Even if you ask me, I don't know.
Oh, right, you didn't actually talk to them directly. Okay, I'll phone the office and see what happened. Who did you hear the news from?
Let's see. Who was it? Sorry, but I was just so shocked by the news that I can't really remember who told me.
That's fine, I'll just talk to the director. He'll definitely know what's going on.
Hold on a second, let me take care of it. Just wait for me to get back to you. You're in the hospital after all. Leave it to me.
Mark, you're lying to me, aren't you?
What? Of course not. Why would I do something like that? There's nothing for me to gain by lying about this.
I've worked with you for 2 years. I know your idiosyncrasies. Whenever you messed up on work, you would do the same thing to try and cover it up. I don't know, I don't remember, I heard it from somebody. I've heard those phrases many times from you. You always just come out with some vague excuses.
Really? Do I do that? I don't remember ever having done that, though.
See, there it is. Hey Mark, could it be that you're the one who Zara's been cheating on me with?
Are you kidding me? Of course not. Steve, you're not making any sense.
Which one of us isn't making sense? It's gonna all be sorted out by either calling the police or the office. But you didn't seem to want me to do that. Come on, Mark. If you're not the other man, why lie about this? No response? Well, I'll take that as the answer.
Hey! What are you trying to do here? Why did you tell my parents I cheated on you? Why are you getting them involved in this? I can't believe you.
Oh, so you were still alive after all.
Is there something with that?
I mean, you went to all the trouble to lie and pretend that you died on your trip. So I really didn't think you would be the one to contact me. But then when the police really called me, I got a real shock. They only wanted you to come pick up your stuff that you had left by the sea, though. You guys really didn't do a great job of faking your death.
Shut up! Who cares about that now?
It's still pretty important, I think. Did you think that wouldn't get found out immediately? I really don't know what was going on through yours and Mark's minds.
You're the one at fault here. If you hadn't kept up your annoying grumbling and kept trying to make me bring you things in the hospital, I wouldn't even have said anything about the affair. Mark got angry at me for telling you, so we thought we'd try something.
And that's what you came up with. Zara, let me tell you, it's better for you to live your life without using your head too much. It doesn't work very well for you. It'll just lead you to trouble if you try to use it too much.
You're going to make fun of me now? Then you must be the real idiot for marrying me. Falling in love with someone when they show you just the smallest bit of kindness. I only married you because you have a good job, and I figured I'd have a relaxing time staying at home while you worked. And you didn't even realize that for over 3 years. That's why as soon as you told me that you might not be able to walk again after the accident, I thought about divorcing you. And here we are now. If you can't make money anymore, what use do I have for you?
You're right, I really am a bad judge of character. I would never have expected that you'd be having an affair with Mark. But I'm glad that it all came to light in the end. Imagine if this happened after we'd had a kid. Then they would also be dragged into this mess.
That would never have happened. Do you really think I want to have a child with someone as ugly as you? Mark is different though. He's younger and far more handsome than you. He's definitely got promise. If I'm going to have a kid, it'll definitely be with him.
I guess you really are horrible through and through. Well, I'm glad I can see that now. This will make the court case for alimony a breeze. Thanks, you two, for making things up on your own end so badly. You really helped me out.
Look, about the alimony. I'll pay up, but in return, can you fix that fact that you told my parents about the affair?
Why should I do that?
My parents are both really angry at me. I told them it wasn't the truth, but they won't believe me at all. They basically want to wash their hands of me and cut ties.
I'm glad that your parents at least have a decent moral compass. But I'm not going to change anything that I told him. You're going to have to pay the alimony no matter what. I don't need to do you any favors to get it. Could you even keep it a secret anyway? I bet you're going to have to ask them to help you pay up anyway.
Nope, I have enough money to pay on my own.
There's no way you do.
Why do you say that?
I bet you were thinking about the money I got from insurance and compensation for the accident, right? Well, hate to break it to you, but I gave my sister authorization, and she took all the money out as my proxy. You didn't even think to check the bank accounts?
There's no way.
Yeah, there is. Go on, take a look. And I told my sister what happened. She took time off work and got over here as soon as she could. Even though it takes her 3 hours from where she lives. I hired a private investigator to look into you and Mark and see what's going on with the two of you. I found out that you're both living together in a really fancy apartment. I'm a bit worried about how you even plan to pay for such a place seeing as you're both unemployed.
Hold on. What do you think you're doing? A private investigator? Really? There's no way I'll be able to pay the alimony now.
I'm sure Mark will help you out. If you were planning on a divorce, you should have thought about the chance of paying alimony. And to think you were going to use my money from the accident to live with him. You two really are out of your minds.
Wait, then what about splitting the assets? I'm still going to get something from that.
Yeah, once the divorce has been finalized, you'll get something. But that's only if you accept that you have to pay the alimony.
No way. How am I supposed to live until then?
Don't ask me. That's a question for Mark. Remember, he's a better man than me, right? With lots of promise for the future, so I'm sure he'll be fine.
Well, Mark doesn't have that much in his savings.
I'm not surprised. He did always spend his money on useless things. But that's just like you. I guess you guys are a perfect fit. Anyway, make sure you call my lawyer afterwards. They should have sent a bunch of paperwork to the apartment you're in now. Make sure you read them more carefully before contacting the lawyer.
Oh, wait, hold on. This is really going to cause me a lot of trouble. Look, we lived together for 3 years, right? Don't you have any feelings about that time? Don't be so hard on me here.
You really have some guts saying something like that. I'm here in hospital with the possibility of never walking again, and you couldn't care less about me. I have no attachment and no interest in you at all. Those are your words, by the way. You feel the same, remember? Luckily, we both feel like the same way now.
Steve, I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
Oh, you have some nerve texting me.
I'm sorry. I've really thought over what I did. I admit that I was cheating with Zara, but can't you reduce the amount of alimony?
Didn't you hear from my lawyer? He should have told you that I have no intention of doing that.
He did say that, but I thought that maybe if I asked you directly, you would think about lowering it at least a little bit. I mean, I know that you're a kind person, but all of a sudden you become really cruel in this situation. Zara said you blocked her number too, so she hasn't been able to get through to you.
Listen here. My cheating wife and the man she cheated on me with. I may be kind, but I'm not kind enough to show people like you any leniency here. I was nice to you as my co-worker. Now we don't have any sort of connection at all.
How can you say that? And to tell my parents about this too? Oh, why did you have to go so far? My poor old dad's blood pressure has gone through the roof. He's even sicker than he was before.
Does that have something to do with me? You're the one that caused this.
That may be the case, but...
And anyway, there's nothing wrong with your dad. He's not sick at all. Are you really gonna keep lying?
What do you mean?
I got a message from your dad apologizing for your actions. At that time, I really did feel bad about his health, especially since he didn't do anything bad himself. So I asked him how he was feeling. He told me that he's as healthy as ever and hasn't had any problems recently at all.
He said that, did he?
You texted me trying to apologize and say that you thought about your actions. But instead, you just come out with more and more lies. Don't you see that you just keep digging yourself a deeper hole each time you do this?
In that case, I'll tell you the truth. But please, think about lowering the alimony payments.
I don't see why I should do that.
I can't stand Zara. Before we lived together, she was always friendly and had a smile on her face. She'd also take the trouble to do things for me too. But now she's changed entirely. She does nothing around the house, and even though she knows we have to pay a lot for the apartment, she refuses to work. And I myself am still in the process of looking for a job. I feel like I'm losing my mind with her. Plus, she's using up all of my savings carelessly on useless things.
Yep, that sounds about right. I was just too late in realizing. You're lucky you noticed so soon.
I'm not lucky at all. She doesn't have anywhere to go home to since her parents refuse to talk to her anymore. So I'm stuck with her. I'd like to get away from her if possible, but my dad said that if I run away now, he'll never forgive me.
I see. Thanks, Mark. Honestly, I feel like I owe you some gratitude.
Why do you say that?
It would have been dangerous to just let a horrible woman like her free. But now that the two of you pieces of trash are together, all good people can rest a little easier. I'm sure she'll stick around for a while before she finds a new man. That's the kind of woman she is.
Steve, please, I'll do anything. So, could you please just let this slide? I'll find some way to make it up to you, so please forgive me.
Okay, fine. I forgive you.
Really? You will?
Just kidding. There's no way I'd do that.
What?
Have fun living with Zara. Just make sure to keep up on your payments. Have a good life. After that, we finalized the divorce and reached a settlement. Zara didn't have enough money to pay for alimony, so it had to come out of what she would have received in the divorce. In the 3 years we were married, she didn't work or manage to save much money at all. Because of that, she ended up with barely anything at the end of the divorce proceedings. Apparently, when the two of them tried to pretend as though Zara had fallen into the sea, they did something even more stupid than lie to me. It turns out that Mark called the police pretending to be a witness himself. Giving the police false information is a crime, and he was questioned and finally fined for it. To be honest, I think of myself as being a little bit pathetic for having the wool put over my eyes by people as stupid as those two. But I'm relieved that I was somehow able to bring this mess to a close. I was discharged from the hospital, but I currently have to get around with the help of a wheelchair. My work was kind enough to find a way for me to do everything I need from home, so that has made it much easier on me. Although I was told I may never walk again, feeling has started to return to my legs bit by bit, depending on how rehabilitation goes, but there is now a chance I'll be able to walk on my own 2 feet again. I was completely shocked by Zara's betrayal and the sudden divorce. But if things had remained as they were, I would have just been exploited by her for the rest of my life. If I think about it like that, I really do feel somehow grateful to Mark for taking Zara away from me. From now on, I'm going to focus on my rehabilitation and think of my health as my #1 priority. And while keeping in mind my family who helped me through this tough time, as well as my company and co-workers who made it possible for me to work from home. I'm going to take back control of my life, slowly but surely.
Hi, Grace. I never got the chance to thank you for all your help at our wedding. Thanks to you, it went perfect.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, and your speech was wonderful.
I wish Joan's dad was with us to make the speech. If he was alive, he would have made a better one.
Yours was great. My parents were very touched.
The wedding was a lot more compact than I expected.
Well, we both don't like to be the center of attention. So we only invited close family and kept the crowd as small as possible.
A big and gorgeous stage would have been misfit, for you anyway. So I guess a compact wedding was suited for you.
You're totally right. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to wear a wedding dress.
But you did in the end.
Yes, because my grandmother really wanted to see me in one. So I thought I'd give it a try. But I chose a very simple design. I didn't want anything too fancy.
Yes, I think you chose right. Sorry to be blunt here, but you wouldn't look good in something fancy.
I agree. I was glad everyone enjoyed it though.
Anyway, I never would have thought my son would choose someone like you.
Oh, I know, me neither. He's very handsome, which he must have gotten from you. Anybody would assume he'd choose someone pretty.
All of his exes were very pretty. He even dated a girl who won a beauty trophy.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Good-looking people must attract other good-looking people. I wish I could be a part of that.
The reason why he became attracted to you is probably because of that positivity of yours.
I think so. He said he becomes more lively when I'm with him.
I see. Oh, I forgot to mention that next month there's a big family gathering. Why don't you two come?
Nice! Are we celebrating something?
Yes, there's a family member who's turning 100 years old. She's Joan's grandfather's sister, which makes her Joan's great aunt.
Wow, a great aunt? I did meet John's grandfather at our wedding. He is a very fashionable gentleman.
He has 7 siblings. The eldest is turning 100.
What is John's grandfather's birth order?
The last? That's why the two are quite far apart in age.
I bet.
Anyway, we have a banquet room booked at a hotel for the celebration.
A banquet room? Wow.
You should come and say hello. Most of the family weren't invited to the wedding, so you haven't had the chance to meet them. This would be a great opportunity.
I agree. I'll check the date with John. Just to confirm, are you sure I'm invited?
I will let the host know. Everyone should be aware that John got married, so I'm sure it won't be a problem.
Oh, thank you. I look forward to seeing everyone.
Good. I hope you get along with everyone. How was the gathering for you last night? You seemed quite nervous.
Good morning. Oh, yes, I was very nervous to meet everyone. And I was astonished. How come everyone in the family is so good looking?
I know. I was surprised when I joined the family as well. Everyone has a very pretty face.
It made my heart race. I felt completely out of place.
Right? You would actually stand out among such good-looking people, as in a bad way.
I think I kinda did.
Makes you lose your confidence, doesn't it? You must have felt alien, or even miserable. Maybe. Do you regret that you got married into this family?
I mean, I was a little embarrassed, but I didn't feel alien.
Are you sure? You don't have to act strong.
I'm sure. Because everyone was so nice to me. The younger member of the family went out for more drinks afterwards. We all became good friends. We were calling each other by nicknames by the end of the night. Or should I say, by the morning? We stayed out so long, I just woke up.
Huh? You became that close with them? With my family?
Yes, we exchanged contacts and everything. We also created a group chat. I'm so glad you asked me to join the gathering.
That's not right.
Beg your pardon?
That's not right. Why did you get close to them?
What? Grace, what's wrong?
You do not fit in the family. A decent person would realize and want a divorce. How the hell can you not see someone as ugly as you don't belong?
Ugly?
I'm referring to you. Why is my son married to such a pig? You're not welcomed.
Oh, Grace, calm down.
How did you do it?
Huh?
I'm asking you how you tricked my son to marry you. Surely you had to. Do you have something on him?
What? No. We're together because we fell in love. I had never tricked him. How could I have that kind of technique? My experience with men are so limited.
I don't believe you. That can't be. Who would fall in love with a person like you? You're ugly. You give me chills. What did you do to marry John? I refuse to accept you as my daughter-in-law.
Wow. So the truth comes out. I didn't know you thought of me that way. I mean, I did know that you always kept your distance, but I see now that you never liked me.
When first John introduced you to me, I was so shocked that I nearly fainted. I couldn't help but wonder if John was having issues with his vision.
I do realize that my appearance is far from attractive, but John loves me for who I am inside.
If you knew that, you're unattractive. How can you allow yourself to be with John? Get a divorce.
I don't want to do that. You might not believe this, but we are very happy together. Everyone in the family said that John seems much happier than before. You heard them too, didn't you?
That's only because he's still excited about being a newlywed. It will die down in a matter of time. Then he will deeply regret he married an ugly person like you.
Oh, well, I don't know.
I am. He'll regret it for sure. If John doesn't want a divorce now, so be it. For now, though. You must be perfect at housekeeping. You're not good enough to be his wife, so at least be sure to take care of all the chores. That's the only thing you can provide him.
Housekeeping?
Duh, that's the least you can do.
Okay. I'm not very good at housekeeping, but I'll do my best.
Excuse me?
Hi, Grace, what is it? Is something wrong?
Yes, something is very wrong. I heard from John's cousin. Is it true that you're making John cook?
Oh, that.
Have you forgotten what I said to you? An ugly pig like you making my son do chores? It's unbelievable.
We help each other with chores since we both work. Surely I can't manage everything on my own.
That's your responsibility. My poor baby, get a divorce, now. He comes home tired from work and you make him go through all that? The wife should take care of all the chores. Why are you working anyway? You should be a full-time housewife and support your husband.
Actually, truth be told, John is the full-time homemaker now.
Excuse me?
John stays at home as the homemaker, and I go out to work as the breadwinner.
What are you talking about? You're talking gibberish? John is a sales executive at a trading firm.
Yes, but he actually became sick from overworking. So he left the firm when we got married. That's why he cooks dinner and does other house chores.
What? Why have I not heard about this? This is very significant news. I don't understand why this was kept from me.
Probably because he didn't want to tell you.
Why?
I mean, your reaction is imaginable. You would say something like, be a man, blah blah. Your ideology is so biased and outdated.
I beg your pardon?
Well, John's actions speak the truth, right? He hasn't told you, so he must not trust you.
What do you know about my son? Don't you speak like you know everything.
John has sometimes spoken about you, and they were mostly negative.
What? How so?
That you were a lazy, stay-at-home mom. You never worked and yet spent so much of what your husband had earned without even doing any house chores. And that you were an arrogant, unlikable person.
John said that?
Yes, he did to me. So I think that John may not like you that much, Grace.
That can't be. You're lying to me. You're lying to me about everything, including that you're the breadwinner. You're trying to deceive me.
No, it's the truth. I am in a directive position of an international firm. I make plenty to pay for the both of us.
That's not reason enough for my son to be a homemaker.
John didn't like working in an organization. He really hated his environment where he had to show up at this office every day. He worked for his living, but one day his heart couldn't tolerate it anymore. There was even a time when he physically could not take a step forward while he was headed to his office.
It was that bad for him?
Yes, it was. When I first met him, he was not in a good condition. We became close because I was giving him advice about work. Once we started dating, we realized that we were a good fit because we kind of supplemented each other. So, we got married and agreed that John would be the homemaker.
That's why he chose you?
The current lifestyle suits him. He seems much happier nowadays.
You, a director at an international firm? Do you think I can actually believe that?
I don't mean to boast or anything, but I am really good at what I do. My professional background helped me hit it off with your family too, you know?
What do you mean?
Remember the family gathering you invited me to the other day? Well, a few of us began to talk about work and it really sparked the conversation. I was like a consultant that night. Some asked me for advice and all. See, that's one of the reasons why I was able to get along with your family.
You pig! No, it can't be true. I don't believe any of this.
Oh, well, that's too bad. If you don't want to believe it, so be it. I didn't want to, but I will let John know of our conversations. I don't think I can tolerate you calling me a pig any longer anyway.
Everyone is out of their minds. Why does everyone have your back? Why am I the one getting scolded?
I heard you got told off by some of your family. What did you expect after being so disrespectful to me? Just because you're my mother-in-law doesn't give you the right to say things like that.
How the hell did you trick everyone to like you? You just got married to John. You're new.
Oh, did I never tell you? I am really talented at that. I'm very likable. It's important for me to be able to build a good relationship with people, not only for work, but also for my personal life. I'm quite proud to say this skill helped me to become a director regardless of my young age.
I was even told that I should be begging you for forgiveness. How can this be?
Wow, I guess I really am loved. John was furious about all you had to say to me. From my perspective, it's very sweet of someone to become so emotional for me.
Everyone is a traitor. When I first joined the family, everyone was nice to me. They treated me so well, saying how glad they were to see such a pretty bride.
Yes, but you have an ugly personality. And people get used to seeing a pretty face after a while.
Who are you calling ugly? Someone as ugly as you can't call someone else ugly.
You know, people try to avoid something unattractive. In my case, my personality made up for my unattractiveness, so I always had people around me. In your case, though, your face wasn't enough to make up for your personality. That's why no one is around you anymore. That's how ugly your personality is.
Shut your mouth, you pig.
John is very disappointed in you. He said he didn't want to contact you anymore, or even see you.
What? He can't cut me loose like that. You don't mean he's leaving his old mother?
Honestly, we both don't want anything to do with you. It's so unfortunate. All your family are so nice. How did you end up like that?
Don't talk to me like you know better. I will not take that from you.
See, that's what I mean by ugly personality. You think you can say anything just because you're pretty? Well, you should know, life is not that easy.
Are you scolding me? A petty girl like you?
You may be older, but clearly I am much more aware of how the world works. You should feel ashamed you are getting scolded by someone younger than you. I hope one day your heart and face balances out. Grace was not able to redeem herself from her bad reputation in the family. On the contrary, John and I became even closer with the other family members. Grace couldn't stand it, so she stopped contacting everyone, hoping that somebody would worry and eventually call her, but no one did. Grace became desperate and wrote a letter to John, claiming he should be worried about her. The only way she could contact him was through a letter because he was ignoring all her messages. But that letter too was torn and thrown away by John. Soon after, our address changed, so we stopped receiving letters. Recently, most of our family has forgotten about Grace, and I am living happily with John.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.